An Orem man convicted of killing his wife says prosecutors lied about what happened, and he deserves a new trial.
Conrad Truman wants his conviction tossed out and his prison sentence over. His lawyers say new evidence could do just that. Fox 13's Caroline Connolly joins us in studio tonight with more. Caroline.
Hi, Hope. Yeah, Conrad Truman was found guilty for the murder of his wife, Heidi Truman. Now, prosecutors said that Truman shot his wife in the head and then tried to cover it all up. But now new evidence and a new analysis from a deputy state medical examiner is challenging that guilty verdict.
Months after he was sentenced to prison, Conrad Truman still maintains his innocence, denying any involvement in the 2012 death of his wife, Heidi, and now vowing that he can prove it.
Conrad Truman is innocent, and there was a massive injustice that was committed.
A few months ago, attorneys Mark Moffat and Ann Talaferro started digging into Truman's case, and they now believe what they've uncovered will show Truman is innocent and that the investigators are to blame.
And they mischaracterized to the jury, they mischaracterized to the medical examiner, they mischaracterized to every single person.
They filed two motions today, one for a new trial and the other to have Truman released, citing in part a new evaluation from the deputy medical examiner who first ruled the death a homicide, and now says that based on, quote, newly provided and corrected information, I can no longer rule out the possibility that Heidi Truman died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound of the head.
I don't know how anybody who is a seasoned prosecutor can look at what happened here and not worry about what occurred.
The crux of their argument focuses on two things. Crime scene measurements they say were, quote, incorrectly depicted and wildly misleading, and untested samples of gunshot residue on Heidi's right hand, consistent with her having fired the gun that killed her.
Certainly it's rare for the ME to change his mind like that.
Utah County Deputy Attorney Craig Johnson was surprised by the new evidence, but not concerned about his case and what this could mean for Truman going forward.
He murdered his wife. I think the verdict speaks for itself, and we're not worried about the appellate motions going forward.
Now, it's important to note that when investigators initially took samples from Truman's wife's hands, they allowed Truman to wash his hands before taking any from him. The deputy attorney did acknowledge during the trial and again today that that was an error, but he said the science is imperfect and all their evidence he felt was sufficient. He also said that the medical examiner was brought to the scene of the crime 3 years later after some flooring had been replaced in the home. So Bob and Hope, he does not believe this was a very transparent argument made by these two attorneys.
Now, Caroline, what about the family of Heidi Truman? What are they saying?
You know, over the course of Truman's trial, they said they were certain he killed Heidi. In fact, at his sentencing hearing, they said that they were offended, actually, to hear him still continue to deny any involvement in her death. They expressed a lot of relief, actually, when it all finally ended just a few months ago when he was sentenced. So I can imagine this is pretty difficult for them.
All right, Caroline, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Yeah. Thanks so much.